Right, good evening to all of you. Let's start the presentation on role of engineer in the society, right? So this is basically targeting the B paper, which will be held on 17th Sunday. Right, let's discuss about the role of engineer in the society, right? So before going to that, of course, I would like to ask few questions. Question number one. Do you need a society to live in? Do you need a society to live in? If there is no society, can we live in isolation? So this is not only about engineers, about human beings, right? Can you live in isolation? Then the second question, do we have a role to play in the society? A human being or anybody, do you have a role? Right now. So generally, human beings live in groups, right? So you can't live in isolation. So Aristotle said, man is a social animal. Social animal. So society, social, and group. These are the key words coming into the picture, right? So man cannot live in isolation. You live in groups, right? If you live in isolation, of course, you get mad. Sometimes you become not only mad, I mean, you sometimes will kill yourself, right? Man needs company with the fellow human beings to share your feelings. So that is the nature, right? So there are animals, some kind of animals living in groups, some are in isolation, right? But human being needs a society group to live in. Then what is society? The term society is most fundamental to sociology. So I'm coming to a point where to tell you about the society and the importance of the society, right? I believe you can hear me. Can anybody respond?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the word society comes from the Latin word socius, means companionship and friendship, right? So human being need companionship and friendship, right? So those are important two factors, right? Sociability. It indicates that the man always lives in the company of other people. So even if you take yourself, you are living in groups. You are living in company of the other people. So if somebody is living in isolation, then there's something wrong, right? So when people get depressed, you try to be on your own alone. So that is a sort of a kind of a uncommon scenario, right? So society, man needs society for living, working, and enjoying life. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to emphasize on the society, our part, our role, why you need the society, and what is your role. Let's go to the definition. There are so many definitions. I took this from the web. Society is defined as a group of people who share common culture, occupy a particular territorial area and feel themselves to constitute a unified and distinct entity. I think you can understand that. It is the mutual interaction and interrelations of individuals and groups. So this will clearly show you the interaction. So you interact with other people, you interact with groups when you are in society. So society has become an essential condition for human life to continue. So for a normal life, you need this, right? Normal person, right? Normal person, normal society. These are compulsory event, right? Let's look at some other definition. The community of people or varied collection of individuals living in a particular country or region and having shared these things: law, culture, customs, relationship, mutual interest, shared institutions. So this will show you the interaction, networking, relationship with each other, right? So what I want to highlight here is you can't live in isolation. Then what is the relevance of society to engineers? Let's look at that. So engineers' main role is dealing with science and technology. So what you think about yourself, you are dealing with science and technology, right? Technical stuff. Sociology is not a subject in our curriculum in the university. We are not taught sociology. The importance of the society, we are not taught. Not trained in sociology. So that is another fact. Then let's look at these three things mentioned below: humanities, culture, sociology, right? Do we lack knowledge in these areas? We are not taught. We are not taught, but what we have picked up from our childhood, there are certain things, of course, humanity, culture, but we have not been scientifically taught of these areas. Why it is not relevant or it is not necessary? Let's see. So what is lacking in engineering? No training in humanities. No training in culture. Training in sociology. So is it a curriculum issue? None of us have learned about sociology, humanities, culture, sociology in either maybe your last education was at university. In university, we didn't have these things. But from your environment, your childhood, you have learned something about these three items, right? From your parents, the people you associate, you have learned something. But it's not a subject in the university curriculum. Understanding the nature and our role in the society is not much emphasized at all, right? So now engineer's role in society is not clearly emphasized, but there's a massive meaning in that, right? Why society is important to engineers? We are human beings. We interact with people, we live in groups, we live in society, right? We are part of the society. So in your environment, you are part of the society. Maybe your home front or in your area or in office or in some other places, you are part of it. That is why it is important. You are an engineer, but you are in society. What is the relevance of sociology in engineering? Engineers have to deal with society, especially for those who work in the field, right? Those who are working in the field, you have to deal with the society. They have to understand society needs and design their work to solve problems of the society. Directly or indirectly, you are serving the society. Now think about the work you are handling. Maybe indirect work, but some are directly deal with the society. So there's a point there because we have a role in the society, but it is noticed or unnoticed, right? Let's think about your final product in your service that goes to the society, used by the people, right? Engineers with knowledge of sociology would have knowledge of society needs. So that is the important part, sociology. If you have the knowledge of sociology, the behavior of society, you will have a better understanding of the society need. That would help him to develop a successful career in engineering, focusing the society. So that is an important thing you have to think about. So, you know, engineering is a dynamic profession. It is changing every moment, and it is not uniform practice. Engineering should fit into today's world. Now, let's think about the development, engineering development in the world. Now you think about 20 years or 30 years back, the stuff you used at that time. Think about the stuff you are using now. You see the development, all that is engineering, right? All that is engineering, the technical stuff. And you see now, say 50 years back, we didn't have mobile phones. We never thought of, having a mobile phone, right? That time we had land phones, but it developed into a mobile, massive form. Mobile phone is very massive, heavy stuff. But you consider the phone you are having today with a screen and all that, visuals, videos, voice, everything is there. And the whole world is there. Right? You can get everything into that mobile phone within a couple of seconds, right? So that is such a development. Now, that is engineering, right? It is developing. Not only in mobile phones, in every industry, it is same. So engineer's life, you see, designs, we do designs, calculations, planning, evaluation, management, supervision, and is this the life of engineers? Is it more than this? It is more than this, right? Just look at this. Scientific knowledge, societal needs, targeting engineering, right? The common sector is engineering. So this will clearly show you your knowledge is required for the society, right? Let's look at this picture. Scientific knowledge, societal needs. In addition to that, you analyze, create. That is, again, precise engineering, right? Creative analysis with scientific knowledge catering to societal need through engineering gives innovative products and services. So you get the scientific knowledge, the need. Now, researchers, what they do is, you know, they keep on watching the requirements of the society, right? They keep on watching the requirements of the society and they develop, right? Create, analyze. Now you can understand how engineering is important in this societal needs catering, right? So let's see the definition of science. The systematic study of structures and behaviors of physical and natural world through observation and experiment, right? Organized body of knowledge, organized body of knowledge. So that is gathered from the knowledge, right? It's an organized body of knowledge, is within the knowledge, observation and experiment. What is technology? The application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose. Application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose. You see the difference, right? Knowledge concerned with applied science, application. First one is study, second one is application. That is the important part of creating things. Now we see scientist discovers that which exists. Scientist discovers what exists. Engineers create that which never was. Scientists are experimenting about things, what is existing. Engineers create things. Now, these creations are used by people. That's a simple way of explaining it, right? So let's see the rest of this. Engineers are professional practitioner of engineering, applying scientific knowledge, mathematics, and develop solutions for technical problems, right? That is the role of engineer. As I told you earlier, you are also doing the same thing, directly or indirectly. You develop products, develop something, you give it to the society. They are using it. Take highway engineer. You design roads, you construct roads, ultimately used by the people. Bridge, same. Handphone, same. Radio, laptop, computer, everything same. Right? Now the world is developing now, you know, all these creations are products of engineers, right? So nothing more than that. Engineers design materials, structures, and systems while considering the limitation imposed by practicality, safety, and cost. Practicality, safety, and cost. So there are three things you have to consider when you are developing something: how practical it is, how safe it is, and what is the cost. Now, when engineering comes into the picture, cost is an important point. You can't develop anything at any cost. It should be economical. When you are constructing a road, it should be economical. When you are putting up a bridge, it should be economical. When you are developing some electronic gadget, it should be economical. If it is at any cost, then it is not engineering. So that is the point you have to emphasize. Engineering is application. Now, you see, engineering is application of science to the common purpose of life. Now, whatever you produce, common purpose of life. You think about it, right? Whatever the work you do in the office, maybe design office, maybe, or even project office, maybe. Application of science to the common purpose of life, of people. Engineering is the art of directing the great sources of power in nature for the use and convenience of mankind. Right? It's very clear. Engineering is the art of organizing and directing men and controlling the forces and materials for the benefit of the human race. Right? It's very clear, right? Now, I think you can understand engineers are creators. What they create is used by the people in the society. You are also part of the society, right? Let's see some Engineering Council for Professional Development, what it says. Engineering is the profession in which the knowledge of mathematical and natural science gained by study, experience, practice is applied with judgment to develop ways to utilize the materials and forces of nature economically for the benefit of the mankind. Wherever you read about engineering output, it is for the benefit of the mankind. US President, 31st President, Herbert Hoover, he said, engineering is a great profession. There is a fascination of watching a figment of the imagination emerge through the aid of science to plan on paper. Imagination comes to the paper. You imagine. Can you do this way? Can you do that way? If you produce something like this, likewise, right? Then it moves to realization in stone or metal or energy. Stone or metal or energy. Then it brings jobs and home to men. Then it elevates the standard of living and adds to the comfort of life. This is the engineer's high privilege. So you engineers are creating things, developing things of high privilege, right? So who is an engineer? Mathematician, scientist, generalist, manager, technologist, magician. Is it magician? I'm not a magician, right? Creators are magicians. You know, you go to a magic show, he will create things, right? We are not there. Now you are sitting for the B paper on 17th. You have to get through the B paper. Then you have to spend now you would have spent nearly minimum of 1 year in the industry. Then you sit for the B paper. Then you have 3 more years. You complete 4 years altogether. You are eligible to apply for charter. Then you appear for the professional review interview, and then you get through. Then you are a chartered engineer. Now, what is the definition of that? Chartered engineers are characterized by their ability to develop appropriate solutions to engineering problems using new or existing technologies. Ability to develop appropriate solutions to engineering problems, right? Through innovation, creativity, change. Innovation, creativity, change. These are the 3 most important words in this paragraph, right? You develop new things, you create new things. Scientists study what is there. Engineers create things, right? Fundamentals in engineering for the betterment of society. Investigation. So these are the things you do, right? In different areas of engineering. Planning and design. Construction, manufacturing. Operation and maintenance. Continual improvement. Now, for example, you take the car. Good old days, long time back, the car, the status, now it is completely different. Continual improvement. Even in the past, the old car was running. There's no problem. With the fuel or with something, it can run. Today, car also can run. But there's a world of difference between these two. You have more comfort in it today. Continual improvement. Still developing it. You had manual gear, now you have automatic gear. Now it will come to a status where you don't have to drive the car. It automatically it will take you to the destination. Right? Continual improvement. Research and development, continual improvement, research and development take you to a new platform. So engineering is everywhere. You look at anywhere you want, you enter the room through the door. Door has a lock, that is engineered. Door has hinges, engineered. Look at the light, the bulb, engineered. Right? Look at the fan, engineered, everything. So nothing more than engineering everywhere, right? Engineering is all around us. So people often take it for granted, like air and water. We don't think, people don't think about it. They don't think that it is engineered product, right? What do I touch? That is not engineered. Whatever you touch now is engineered. So it is an art. It is an approximation, measurement, estimation, forecast and projection, modeling and simulation, right? In this development process, all these things are there: measurement, estimation, forecast, projection, modeling and simulation. All these things are embedded in this entire process, right? Now, the products that have been developed up to now, they have come through this mill, this process, right? Then only it got developed, right? Engineering is communication, technical report writing, and presentation. I'm doing a presentation now with the aid of technology, engineering technology, right? Finance, engineering is finance, engineering is innovation, engineering is creative process. I've been telling this, creativity. Fundamental of engineering is creativity. That creations are going to be used by the people. That is the most important. So let's see the roles now. If you go to the engineering field or go to the industry, of course, you find managers, politicians with engineering background, entrepreneur, lawyer, academic, expert, scientist. So engineers have the ability to work in any of these areas, right? But not everybody. So that's why I said engineers are unique stuff of people. So whatever your position, you have to play the role of engineer, right? We have, you have engineering background, engineering knowledge, creative skills, all that is engineering. So engineers, role of an engineer is more than the calculations, designs, planning, supervision. Now you do calculations, you do designs, planning, and supervision. It is more than that. Sometimes he plays a role which on first impression are not linked to their professional training, right? Sometimes you have to play a different role, managerial role, training role. There are so many things. Immediately when you look at that entity, sometimes you may think this is not engineering, but it's not so. The training received as an engineer is a part of the reasons which an engineer can display his versatility and creativity. So if you use your engineering background, engineering knowledge, it gives you a lot of things. So what is the responsibility of engineers? We live in a complex global and intercultural world with a lot of problems. Now you see these days, we have some time back, we had a drought. Now we have rain. If you take Hong Kong, there was a massive flood. Take Libya, there was a massive flood again. The entire city was washed off, right? We are living with a lot of problems. Solutions are engineering solutions, right? Just think about it. It is compulsory that engineers should amplify the horizon of their specialized technical knowledge in the field of development within the norms and principles of ethics. So whatever the solution you give should be within the norms. We have set of norms. rules, guidelines, which does not violate the ethics. You have learned about ethics. Ethics. You can't violate ethics. Because you're an engineer. So you have your principles not to violate ethics. Now let's see, there are, I think, about 10 points. Social responsibilities of engineers. Ensure the safety, your prime concern, safety and interest ahead of all other consideration for well-being of public. You are doing something, you are developing something, you are creating something. Safety should be your prime objective before putting it to use. Before putting it to use, you have to see whether it is harmful to the users, right? Ensure that society funds and resources concerning technology are well used. You can't waste money invested in that. You can't use, you can't you have to use fund carefully without wasting funds and resources all, right? It is your prime concern. I told you, when you develop something, it should be cost effective. At any cost, you can't produce anything, right? So society's funds and resources concerning technology are well used, right? Concerned about impact of engineering projects on environment and society. So we make modification to various things, various projects, we do modification to the environment. So those should not be harmful, right? You have to protect the environment behavior, the style. If you disturb that, you will get the return. So mindful of that. Refusing to work on a particular project or for a particular company violating above. So you maintain your ethics, you maintain your principles, and don't work for companies or anybody who is violating the above conditions. You have to raise your voice. Speak out publicly against improper projects. If it is damaging, if it is diminishing, if it is destroying environment or any damage is happening, then you have to go against that. You have to speak against that. Not only getting involved in that, you have to speak against it. Expose illegal or wrongdoings. You have the duty as an engineer. If something is happening wrong, illegal, bring it to the notice of relevant persons. These are your social responsibilities. Professional society's obligation to provide protection for such people. Professional bodies should protect such people. Now, say, when you are walking on the road or when you are driving on the road, do you see a water leakage from a supply line, from the national water supply and drainage board? You have a responsibility to speak to the relevant area engineer and inform about that there's a leak at that particular location. You have a responsibility, right? If you see a power line is broken and fallen on ground, you have a responsibility because you are an engineer, right? You have to inform the relevant area engineer, ECB or electricity board or LECO, and take measures, safety of the people. But don't think that it is not my work, it is somebody else's work. Never think it that way. Contributing one's services to worthy non-profit groups and projects. Always don't expect returns. You are taught science, you are taught engineering, you are developing products, creating products, and there are so many areas you can get involved in developing or helping the society, but don't expect anything return. Commitment to educate future engineers about their social responsibility. You have to train your subordinates. Emphasize on the social responsibilities, right? Every engineer has a responsibility to train the guys below him or her, junior staff. You have a responsibility, right? You have to share your knowledge, bring up. Don't think that they will go past you. Even if they go past you, you have to bring them up. Voluntarily educating the public about important consequences of various technological and scientific developments. You have responsibility to educate people, right? So when I was working in projects, when I go to the field, people come and ask various questions. You have duty to explain them. If you do it this way, if you do it like this, these are the benefits you will have. So now, suppose you want to put up a road. People are protesting, right? People are protesting. It will go through my land, it will go through my house, kind of thing. And they start protesting. Any project, there are protests. Have we educated the people about the benefits? I lose my house, of course, I will get another house. So there are alternatives, right? But that part is generally missing, educating the general public. You have responsibility to tell them the consequences. When you are developing something, there will be destruction. Or wherever you do, there will be destruction, but there should be alternatives for the destructions. So educating the people will settle the matters to some extent. There are extreme cases also. Let's forget about the extreme cases, but still you can explain them. Then some majority can understand the benefits and the repercussions, and they will come to a compromise, right? So when you interact with the society in that way, you will get recognition for the profession, right? And also recognition in the society. So most of the things, of course, are happening, not happening the way this, as mentioned here. That is why there are issues. Now there are arguments, no, engineering is not like medicine and law. So why? What are the things? Engineers don't have social responsibility. These are kind of concept or kind of ideology some people are having. Professions have social responsibilities, but engineering is not a profession like medicine or law, and so it does not have the same social responsibility. So there's a kind of a concept like this. Now, when you take the two fields, medicine and law, right? What is missing in engineering? What is missing in engineering? Social, right? Medicine, doctors treat people, so they are in the society. Law, when they have law issues, they go to the lawyers. They are dealing with the people, lawyers. Our interaction, engineers' interaction with the society is very minimum. That is why engineers don't get the required recognition in the society. Now, I will tell you a very simple example. If somebody is going to find a house, right? You want to find somebody, engineer's house, right? You go to the junction, road junction, say there's a by road. Go to the junction. Generally, at the junction, you get three-wheelers parked for you to hire. You ask from a three-wheel driver, where is this engineer's house? Engineer Nimal Pereira, where is this person's house? Then he will look up and down and say, there's no person like this, right? We don't know. Then you ask Dr. Samarasinghe, where is Dr. Samarasinghe? Dr. Samarasinghe is third house on the left. That person knows. You ask lawyer Padmasiri. Yes, you go down, there's a lane, turn the second, take the second lane, second right lane, first house there. Why is that? Doctors are well known to society. Lawyers are well known to society, but not engineers. Social interaction, lack of social interaction, right? But we have massive role in the society, but we have not recognized it. Engineering is not given the same privileges as other professionals. So there is no social obligation that promotes engineers' social responsibility. So that is the thinking. That is the way people are thinking, right? That is the way people are thinking. They only deal with objects and facts, not with human beings. But the products are used by people, but it is not recognized. The nature of engineering manager relations in large organization. When you become manager, you don't practice your engineering, you don't practice your even social skills. Engineering does not serve a crucial social need, which is the basis of full social interaction. So that is the ideology people are having. Engineers are not recognized. Other professionals recognized. All that depends on the interaction with the society. But God's sake, we do everything for general public, people, society. Why it is not recognized? We don't interact with the society. Our interaction is very minimum. There are people, of course, there are people who interact with the society, but not all. Code of Ethics. American Code of Ethics says, you can read this. Paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public. Software Engineering Code of Ethics says, approve software only if they have a well-founded belief that it is safe, meets specification, and passes appropriate test, and does not diminish quality of life. Diminish privacy or harm the environment. And now we see in electronic gadgets, there's a recycling mark. You can't just throw it to the trash bin. It is not allowed. But we do that. We don't follow the instructions. Those things will have to be recycled to protect the environment. That is why it is marked like with a triangle, recycling. So you have to follow that. The ultimate effort of work should be for public good. Public good. IEEE Code of Ethics for Engineers, Article 4, it says, engineers shall in fulfilling their responsibility to the community, protect the safety, health, and welfare of the public, and speak out against abuse in these areas affecting the public interest. Now, all these codes are insisting on the safety of the public, safety of the public interest, right? Contribute professional advice as appropriate to civic, charitable, or other non-profit organization, right? You have a responsibility to provide your services, sometimes without any return. Seeks to extend public knowledge and appreciation of the engineering profession and its achievement. That is what says in IEEE Code of Ethics. Any code of ethics highly specific on public safety, environmental protection, and benefit to the public, right? Because engineering is that most of us don't realize that. That is the issue. Institution of Professional Engineers, New Zealand. Modern definition. Engineers will translate into action the dreams of humanity, traditional knowledge and concept of science to achieve sustainable management of planet through the creative application of technology. You are a technologist. You know technical stuff. You can create things. Those things are used by the general public. So while they are using the product, safety is a prime concern, right? Now, up to now, I have described about the role of engineer, why society is important for engineer, and what are the products you develop for the society, and how to look at the safety aspects of the products you develop, which is going to be used by the people, for the mankind. Why engineers have the responsibility of interaction of technology and society? Engineers are the ones who create and implement this technology. So engineers should be responsible for their own actions and creations because of the impact of their work on society and people. Now, this I mentioned earlier also, you have the technical knowledge, you have the creative skills, you develop something in all areas, I mean, all engineering areas, all areas, right? And you produce something for the benefit of the people that will be used by the people. You ensure the safety of the product while using by the users, right? Engineering development. Now, today, the consequences of human creativity in the areas of engineering, technology, and science have reached measures that only a few decades ago were unimaginable. That is the development, right? Now, you see, a cricket match is being played in Australia. We in Sri Lanka, we can watch the match, like live. Technology, right? See how much technology is developed. Now in cricket, you can track the ball profile and give you the decision that whether it is going to hit the wicket or not. Whether it is the sound catchers can catch whether it is hitting the bat or not. So technology, right? So long time back, we didn't have anything. If you look at cricket matches in 80s, 90s, we didn't have that. It is the human decision. There were so many human decisions, right? Human mistakes. So these are the new areas: biotechnology, nanotechnology, genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, information. A lot of development in these areas, especially decades ago, we never thought of such development. All this is human creativity, right? Human creativity, creators are engineers. Engineers are accountable. Capacity and development means knowledge. Knowledge is power. With power comes responsibility. With power, you can do things. So you have the responsibility of what you do. Obligation of the engineer must be of same degree with the level of his power. Responsibility comes with obligation and accountability. You are accountable. Obligation, accountability. You have the duty and you are responsible for that, accountable for that. So let's see the developments in the industry, achievements, engineering achievements in the industry. Nuclear technology, electronics, laser and fiber optics, space exploration, electrification, health technology, aeronautics, imaging technology, agricultural mechanization, petroleum and gas technology. The most important part of this is training, research and development. Through that, all these developments take place. Engineers' impact on society through, just look at these things, infrastructure, power and energy, environment, poverty alleviation. You might ask, what is our role in poverty alleviation? What is engineers' role? Producing food, food technology, farm mechanization, increase production, food production, engineering, nothing more than that, right? Natural disasters, research and development, education and training, health sector, massive development, right? Discovery, recovery. Let's go to the details of it. I will show you some of the pictures, right? Infrastructure, see the development. In all areas, right? Infrastructure developments that will make the works, activities efficient, right? It will make the activities efficient. More products, more benefits. Power and energy. You know all these things are happening all over the world. Solar, hydro, nuclear, wind. Now, all these, now if you look at this solar, right? We never thought of this kind of development, say in 70s, 80s. Wind, hydro was there for some time, but now studies are being done to generate power with sea waves. There are so many other technologies being studied now. Environment. Don't destroy the environment. You have a responsibility to preserve the environment. So wastewater purification, you can't just discharge. There are World Health Organization specification for that. So there are so many things. I mean, sometimes people violate that, but there are standards. Poverty. A lot of people without food. food production should be improved or increased. And I would like to show you this picture. This is Sudan, I think. Yes, Sudan. This child is crawling without food, right? This is a massive bird, you call it vulture, is following this child. When child is dead, this fellow will eat the child. That is why he is following the child. This picture was taken Feminine in Sudan 1993. This picture was taken by Kevin Carter, the photographer, South African. And the picture won the Pulitzer Prize winning feature photograph at that time, 1993. It was taken by Kevin Carter. It's a very sad and pathetic story inside this picture. Now, this Kevin Carter, after taking the picture, of course, after winning the award, he committed suicide. Nobody knows why he committed suicide. Food production, a lot of things technology can do, mechanization, improvement of or enhancement of the production, research and development, right? Look at this, it's nice, made out of all vegetables and fruits. Natural disasters happening all over the world. Solution is engineering, right? Floods, fire, earthquakes, tsunami. Research and development. That will take you to a new platform, right? New platform. There are a lot of development, all areas, right? All engineering areas, all which will maybe damage the environment or which will create problems in human bodies. So research and development will give you the solution. Education and training. So another very important part. So we have to educate, give training, and bring them also to a higher status. Health, engineering in health. You can see all these gadgets are engineered products, scanning machine, X-ray machines, operation theaters, the modern day. Now you can inspect the, now of course X-ray machines are black and X-ray films are generally now black and white. Now you have color X-rays. X-ray picture is colored one. You can get now. And also you can see the inside of every part of the body without cutting through. You can do operations inside the body without making cuts, just by piercing 3-4 locations with some gadgets. You can do operations, you can remove any unwanted parts. So technology is developed. All that is engineering, right? All that is engineering. Discovery, lot of discoveries. Now what I have shown here is, top here is the world largest aircraft in the world, Airbus 380, which can carry 600 people. It's a double-decker. It was developed some time back. This is a massive invention, right? These are 2 rotating towers in Middle East. This one is in Russia, I think. This is also a rotating tower. Now this is most expensive hotel in Dubai, Burj Al Arab. And you see here you have a structural fabric here. This is not a stiff one. This is a structural fabric, flexible structural fabric. This is manufactured in Sri Lanka, right? A factory in Biagama, free trade zone. Recovery. After these pictures were taken after tsunami. So 2 days of tsunami, of course, I had the opportunity to visit these places to give kind of solutions, recovery solutions to the government. So that time I took these pictures from my own camera. And this railway track from Kalutara onwards were repaired locally without any foreign support in a very short period of time. All that is engineering stuff. Challenges for the next generation for engineers. Different energy scenario. Secure cyberspace. Green technology. Ecosystem balance. Water availability. Energy efficiency. Global warming. Waste management. These are some of the areas we have to think in the current situation and also in the future, right? So all this will be handled by engineering experts, nobody else, right? Engineers' contribution at the primary decision-making process is very, very vital. Now, you see, in most of the projects, at the decision-making level, the engineering input is very minimum, right? That is why all these disasters are happening. Either, I don't know the reason, there are so many reasons why engineering input is not included in the primary level of discussion at the proposal level. Look at all options of destructions that can happen due to the development. All these areas should be looked at, and the engineers should get involved from the beginning. That part is not properly happening, I believe, but it has to be in the future. Otherwise, you will have problems. Now you can see the expressway, Kandy Expressway, of course, there was an issue with a tree. This is very, very, very primary thing, right? Once the road trace is finalized, it's very difficult to change it. It costs you a lot of money, all right, but this should have been noticed at the planning level, right? When the initial trace was located, this should have been noticed, right? So something is wrong somewhere, right? So to minimize the effects on the environment, of course, you have to think of decision-making. At the decision-making level, the engineering input is essential. Now, you see these, there's something called Q drum. Now, these children are carrying water from distant place to their homes on head. But there's an engineering solution for this, not to carry the water on head. That is called Q drum. This engineering creativity, right? You create a barrel which can be rolled on the ground, filled with water, right? You don't have to carry the bucket on the head, right? So anybody can carry this or pull this. It's called Q drum. See, this engineering, this creativity. So that is engineering. Engineers should be good communicators. You have to speak different languages. When you are office, you speak technical stuff. When you move with the people, go to the field, you have to speak different languages the people can understand. So good communicators. Now, Mahatma Gandhi says there are two types of people in the world. One category work hard, other category get credit from the others' work. My father advised me to be in the first category. One category work hard. First category, because there is no fight among the working category. Fight is within the category who does not work but try to get the credit. Right? I think you can understand this. Fight for the people, fight for the category who don't work but try to get the credit, right? It may be happening in your workplace also, just for an advice. Points to think about. Politicians are with the society. They emerge from the society. They have good social connections, right? Which we don't have. So we don't have. To be frank, of course, engineers don't have good society connections like politicians. That is why politicians are popular than engineers. And we engineers are reluctant to work with politicians, majority. You need a change. I don't tell you to work whatever politician says. Work with your norms and ethics. If something is proposed in wrongs way, you must be able to convince the politician that this is not the way it should be done. So that is because I have worked with a lot of politicians, but you have the right, I mean, as an educated engineer, to tell politician or anybody, if you do this, this is the repercussion. If you do that, that is the repercussion. So you have to do it this way. But our engineers are a bit, reluctant to, deal with them. You will lose nothing, but you have to express your voice, right? I told you that 8 points earlier. You have to tell, right? Bring it to the notice of people. Bring it to notice of authorities. This is wrong. So that way you earn your position. If you now, I have dealt with politicians, but I was able to convince them if something wrong, I was able to convince them, right? And change their mind. Important points to think about. How many in your neighborhood know that you are an engineer? Just think about it. How many people in your neighborhood know that you are an engineer? Right, think about it, right? Second one, how many times you have given engineering advice to others? When somebody is putting up a house close to a house, have you given any advice? Voluntarily, not expecting anything, right? When your road is being repaired by a subcontractor RDA, and how many times you have, given advice if something is going wrong? This happened to me. When the road leading to my house was repaired by a subcontractor, he was doing it wrongly. There's a minimum thickness of certain materials, especially the ABC. There's a minimum thickness. You can't put below that. When they put like that, I said, don't do this, this is wrong. They are all supervisors, right? They don't have any technical stuff, technical knowledge. By practice, they are doing it. I told them not to do this. They said, no, this is the instruction we got. We had to do it. Then I said, stop work. I will talk to the RDA. and I will get the instruction through RDA. Is it all right? So then they agreed to do it to the specification. So likewise, you have a responsibility. Otherwise, you have to have a label, you have to have a t-shirt with "I am an engineer." When you are using your mug, you have to say, "I am an engineer." You have to put a board in front of you as "I am an engineer." Right? So you have to make the people to think that you are an engineer. So you have to work in that sense. Right. Again, think about yourself, right? How many in your organization know that you are an engineer in your organization? Right. These are the points I want to tell you to think about. They know accountant, finance manager, administrative officer more than you. Why? Your interaction. The importance, right? If ordinary person wants to buy a solar system, from whom he gets advice? Engineer or shop owner. Why? We don't spend time to explain that. So I was at a hardware shop some time back, the person came and asked about something from the shop owner, hardware shop owner. So he was giving various ad hoc answers. Then I intervened and explained to the customer, if you buy this, this is the product. If you buy this, this will happen. If you buy that, that will happen. Likewise, I explained. So look at the notice or the label in the bottle or whatever the material and read it through. It will give you enough information for you to buy. Right? Otherwise, the hardware shop man will give you whatever he has. So you have to do some investigation. Right? You have a responsibility. Another thing. What is the social activity you got involved in last 3 months? Social activity. You deal with the people. How many? You may be providing indirect service, but direct service to society bring you recognition. You are known. You get known to people. In how many projects engineers are recognized at the opening ceremony? Why is that? Just think about it. When you go for a meeting, lectures, etc., where do you sit? Front or back? How many meetings, lectures you have opened your mouth to speak? Or you are just spectator in all these meetings? You have to speak up. When speaker calls somebody from the audience, how many times you have come forward? Something happens on the street, have you come forward for any assistance? So these things will bring you some kind of recognition, right? What are the ISL activities you have got involved in last 3 months, 6 months? Come to the ISL and there are a lot of activities happening here. Contribute to others' work. Share your knowledge with others. Make the society feel that you are a wanted person. This man is required for us. This man is useful. Open up. Abdul Kalam said, I am not a handsome guy, but I can give my hand to someone who needs help. Beauty is in heart, not on face. Right. So to get to the society, get into all social activities, you have to go on your own. Nobody is going to invite you. Right? No one will invite you. You have to voluntarily help them. So what are the activities organized by IESL? This will bring you some kind of networking, connection, or some kind of knowledge sharing, right? There are 7 sexual committees in IESL. You can get to know all these activities, and you can get to know people, and you can get involved in the various activities that will bring you some kind of exposure, and it will give you opportunity to come up with your abilities, capabilities, right? When you run only, you can know that whether you can run or not, right? Public and memorial lectures. Now, yesterday there was a EOE Pereira memorial lecture. Now tomorrow is there's another memorial lecture, Vimala Surendra memorial lecture, DJ Vimala Surendra memorial lecture. So next week we have Dr. Pulisinghe memorial lecture. So these lectures are very important. It gives you a lot of, knowledge. Educational programs, CPD programs, right? There are a lot of activities that are happening at IESL. You can come online to join these activities. Technical and field visits. So there are a lot of knowledge share in technical visits to various places. Then there are competitions. Then there's thing called Engineering Excellence Award. You can apply and show your abilities and win awards. Then you have Techno Exhibition. Techno Exhibition is happening in October 20, 21st and 22nd at BMICH. A lot of activities, a lot of innovations, a lot of new things. And also you will get some gifts also from the members lounge. So why not to visit? Then Building Clinic is a concept of Civil Engineering Sectional Committee where we earn a lot of respect. So I created this Building Clinic concept when I was the chairman of Civil Engineering Sectional Committee some time back. And every Building Clinic, we meet a lot of people. The idea of the Building Clinic is to provide our services, engineering advisory services to general public, those who are putting up their own houses. Or if you are having a problem in your house, water leak, settling of the building, cracking, and various things, we have experts. We invite from the engineering community to come forward and give voluntary service to this Building Clinic. There are a lot of people who have come forward and help us. So our main purpose is to meet people, give advice free of charge, and make them satisfied. So a lot of response is there. We are having the Building Clinic at BMICH on 20, 21st and 22nd of October this year. At this Building Clinic, there are, when people come to know this, they come from very distant areas. Like, last time we had because of the Corona, of course, we couldn't have it the last few years. Last time we had it on 2019. People came from Kandy, Kurunegala, Galle, Abilipitial, distant places after coming to know that these services are available at Building Clinic. And also we took this Building Clinic concept to various provinces also some time back. So that will you create recognition of yourself in the society, right? They think that engineers are helping us. There are engineers category called engineers who are ready to help us, right? So that is one of the ideas we had. Then we have Christmas and New Year festivals organized by IESL, and also most importantly, we have a music engineers band. That was my concept. There's a band in IESL. So we do play at all IESL functions, and on Techno exhibition also, we are planning to play on 2 days, 21st and 22nd on stage, live show. So you also can come and watch this. If you have abilities, you can come and meet us, and we can accommodate you in the music engineers also, right? So basically, in your career, you have 3 lives. What are the 3 lives? Professional life, personal life. Of course, you know that. You have to develop yourself. You have to develop the profession. All right. But you have another life, that is social life. So you work, you live in society. You have a social life, right? So all 3 lives should be successful. If you are to quote that you are a successful person, you have to be successful in professional life, personal life, and social life. Keep that in mind. Otherwise, you are lacking in some area. Think this way. If one can do it, I can do it. If no one can do it, I must do it. Don't think this way. If one can do it, let him do it. If no one can do it, how can I do it? So be in the first category, not in the second category. Choice is yours. Right. These are some of the complaints. If you listen to the news, TV news, radio news, or look at the papers, newspapers, some people complain about there are no water in our area, no pipe service. We don't have drinking water. We have to walk miles and miles to fetch water. No electricity supply in these areas. So we have regular interruptions, right? Then some people can, these are the items, news items we catch up in the news media, right? No bridge to cross the stream. People are hanging on various things and, crossing the streams. No facilities in hospitals, no beds, no fans are working. There are a lot of complaints, no doctors and kind of thing, right? Poor roads or no roads to some places. We are on footpath for years. No, you can't take at least a 3-wheeler on this road. When somebody is sick, you have to carry them on your shoulder to the other side, right? There are so many complaints. School buildings need repair, but the roof is falling, water is leaking from the roof, no transport service. And during this COVID time, of course, we had these online lectures, online classes, online work, isn't it? So some areas don't have mobile coverage. Then these students climb trees, the students go up on the water tanks, then go to various places, hills, to receive signal issue, right? Now look at these problems. Who is responsible for these issues? Is it, let's go to the next slide. Who is responsible? Who is correcting this or giving solutions to these issues, right? That is my question. Ministries, provincial authorities, divisional secretary, Gram Sevaka. Are these the people who are responsible for this, or our own engineers? All these are engineering problems, right? See, all these are the solutions are engineering solutions to all these problems. So engineers should come forward and solve these problems. If I'm a road engineer, if I'm in that area, I should come forward and bring it to the notice of RDA or the Provincial Road Authority and get this sorted out. If there's a water problem, if you are in, you don't have to be in that area also. If you're outside that area, still you can bring some kind of solution to these problems, right? These are engineering problems. That way you can move to the society and get the recognition, right? So what will happen? Nobody will come forward to solve this problem. Then ultimately the politician in the area, he will come to know this problem. Then what he will do? He will call the area engineer or executive engineer and ask him to look at this. But before that, you can take the initiative and create some proposal or something that will solve the problem, right? So it's not happening. So we have to think about that. Abdul Kalam again said, if you salute your duty, you need not salute anybody. But if you pollute your duty, you have to salute everybody. It's a good quotation, right? So you have to be a great engineer of great value to the profession, your family, and society. Because your professional life, your family life, your social life, all three are very important for you to be a successful person. 3R. Respect for self. You respect yourself first. You respect others. And responsibility of all your actions. 3R is that. So you have to be an engineer and work as a technical leader, as a manager, and a social leader. So think about it, try to work on these 3 areas, technical leader, manager, and social leader, to earn the recognition of the society. So my final remark is this: improve your language skills. Now I have been an evaluator, panel member of professional review. So we notice certain things. These are things I have noticed, right? What I put up here. Language is English language we are following. Actually, you have to improve on your language, right? Take up responsibilities. Get all-round experience, not only in engineering, all fields, all related fields. That is important to meet people and share your knowledge. Do work with dedication and commitment. You put your full power, full strength to what you are doing. Share your knowledge and enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do, don't do that. Change your job. That is my advice. Be a chartered engineer with minimum possible time. After associate membership, 48 months, minimum possible time. You are eligible then. Try to get the charter immediately after 4 years or within 4 years, right? Serve the society and your country. So that is the end of the presentation. I believe you have gathered some knowledge on your responsibility towards society. I was trying to explain your role in the society, why it is important, your duty to society, why you are trained in that aspect. You have expert knowledge on certain things, technological stuff, and what we produce will be used by the people in the society. So You have to produce that for the benefit of the mankind, looking at the safety side as well. Then come forward whenever there's a requirement. Don't wait. Somebody asks you to do it or attend to it on your own, and also get involved in social activities. That will bring you recognition in the society for yourself as well as for the profession. So that is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much. And there are some messages in the chat box. What is this? There are no messages, I guess. Right, there are no messages. Right, okay, then thank you very much for your participation and wish you good luck at the exam, BPAP exam on Sunday the 17th. If you have anything to clear, of course, I can spare a few minutes. If you have anything, you can unmute yourself and ask.
How to make the parallel things going?
Sorry, I can't. Your voice is not clear.
How to make the parallel things are going?
How to?
You have how to make the parallel things are going.
What do you mean by parallel things?
For example, lectures, 2 lectures attended to have attended at the same time.
2 parallel lectures? What do you mean?
The memorial lectures and this one.
That is a practical issue, right? Today, of course, today you don't have a memory lecture today. You have memory lecture tomorrow. We had one yesterday and tomorrow. Parallel lectures, of course, you can't. Naturally, you can't listen to 2 parallel lectures. You have to listen to the recording of the one lecture. That is the solution, isn't it? Any more? So there are thank you notes. Thank you very much. Then we'll close the session. So my final remark is try to get your charter within 4 years. Okay, thank you.